Have you ever started typing something on Facebook and then you thought of a better way to write it? Or maybe you thought that you were writing something inappropriate, so you refreshed the page, started over. You've done that, right? Well, Facebook has disclosed that they are keeping track of what you are typing on their site, even if you never post it. I say this is another invasion of privacy. What does Judge Andrew Napolitano say? All rise, because he's here. What do you say?
Well, I agree with you. It's a gross violation of privacy. However, and nobody really reads this, as intelligent as you and Charles are, and as I claim to be, I don't think any of us has ever read the Facebook agreement, but it does say in there that they reserve the right to capture a record of every keystroke you make, whether you post it or not. So their argument is we put you on notice for it. The free market argument is if enough people are upset by this, Facebook will change because you'll go to an alternate supplier of this. Now, Facebook is the king of the hill. There are barriers to entry. You're not going to take on Facebook overnight. But when the NSA captures every keystroke, there's no other place for us to go. When Facebook captures the keystroke, I can stop using them or use some alternate supplier. That's the difference between the free market and the government. Choices. Free choices.
Can I get a word?
People.
It's my show. Can I get a word in edgewise here? Look, the difference between us is I say you've lost your privacy. You've lost the expectation of privacy because of technology. Technological innovation destroys privacy. It is not some government conspiracy.
Yet as recently as today's Wednesday, as recently as Monday of this week, a federal judge referred to the NSA schemes as almost Orwellian and ordered them stopped and then stopped the effect of his order until an appellate court can review it. So there is, in this Christmas season, some cause for hope and joy for those of us who believe in the primacy of the individual and the privacy of the individual.
I think we're coming to an agreement here, because what I...
Is it because we wore the same suit today? I know you didn't
probably
say this on air.
They are the same. That's right.
And I think we're seated next to each other at lunch, heaven forbid.
They came from the same place, too. You've just broken my train of thought
here. You were about to say something.
I think there is a common ground between us here, in that
to hear it.
I don't like the feeling that I'm being watched. Now, look, we're all of us, we're in the public eye, and we're used to being looked at in the street. But in the privacy of my own
home... Where you guys
home,
always differ, though, is that I think the judge still believes we can fight back against it, where it feels like you're saying there's nothing that can...
You're right. You can't fight this thing.
Agreed. Well, I think you can fight it because you have judges doing that. As recently as this morning, another federal judge in Washington, D.C., said the president can't keep secret records of meetings that he has when the meetings are publicly known. That the government's passion with keeping the truth from people violates federal statutes. A Clinton appointee. So look, there is some cause for hope when the Constitution is interpreted in its plain and ordinary meaning.
Do you have that sense, and you, Charles, too? Do you have that sense that you're always being looked at? That whatever you're doing, almost wherever you are, somebody's observing?
Ask Dr. Abloh or anybody in that field. People behave differently when they know they're being watched. They compensate for being watched.
They do.
And the flip side of this is the government behaves differently when it knows it's not being watched. It expands its power. It does other things because it knows it's not going to have to answer for them in public.
Well, do you think that we all become more decent and law-abiding because we've lost privacy and we know we're being looked at?
We become fearful and afraid to exercise freedom because we know we may have to justify even our private behavior.